All right, you guys. So just some more techniques about glazing.
Thank you. Okay, everyone, so I'll be going over some extra techniques. So this is to enhance your glazing technique. So these are extra and optional, and you can use it for your pinch pot animals or your slab relief carvings. And these add extra details and designs, and it can also add texture. So for the stippling glaze or pointillism, you use dots to create images or patterns by using the back side of the paintbrush. So you want to make sure that it's clean on the back. It's helpful for animals that have spots, and you can use different sizes to create the different stipple marks. And you can use like a toothpick for really tiny dots. Okay, splatter glazing. You want to lay down like a paper towel before you do this because it can get pretty messy. So you dip a brush in a good amount of glaze, and then you can add a little bit of water to make it watery, which can help sometimes. And then you can tap on the brush to create splatter marks or patterns.
So this one's kind of similar to pointillism a little bit. If you put enough glaze on your brush and then flick it on your pinch pot animal, you can kind of get a more natural look of those spots. So especially if you're doing like a cheetah or a leopard, I know I have some of those, this is a good way to get that kind of look on your animal a little bit more naturally.
Layering glazes, you want to first put down a background color, and then you put on like different layers of colors. So you add the details like facial features, and then add multiple coats because just adding one coat it can get patchy. So you want to make sure that you're layering them so it actually shows up. Tape resist glaze. So you can use tape to create designs that you will glaze over to reveal a pattern. It can be used for animals with stripes. And then you can also use scissors to cut out the designs. Sponge glazing. You will dip a sponge into a little bit of glaze to create texture. And you can do this over a solid color or over the plain clay.
So this one's another one that's good for adding texture. If you want it to be kind of a multicolored animal, so not all the same color, this might be a good option to layer the glazes. And now she's gonna do a little demo.
Okay. I will first show you the layering technique first. So when creating a background, you can just add a fairly thin layer. I don't know if you can see this, but it can be a little patchy, so I'm just gonna wait for this to dry up before I add another layer. And then let me go over, while it's drying, I'll go over some of the splatter techniques. So you want to have like a good amount of paint, and then you can either tap it, and then it will create like splatter spots, or you can also flick it. And then this can create like a smaller spots as well. So this adds like the texture to it. And then I got my fingers dirty, but okay. I think this is pretty dry. So let me add another layer to my background. And then generally you can do like 2 to 3 coats if you don't want it to be patchy. So again, I'm gonna wait for that to dry. So I'll go over the sponge technique. And then if you have like a blot right here, you can also like spread it out